Hello, and thank you for listening to our presentation on preparing for a remote inspection with the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment's Gamete Bank and Fertility Clinic program. The purpose of this presentation is to provide you with an overview of the inspection process. In this presentation, we will review the following: inspection authority and responsibilities, types and methods of inspections, communication from the program, how to prepare for a remote inspection, and entity responsibilities. This presentation specifically addresses remote inspections, which will be the program's main method to inspect facilities that are physically located outside the state of Colorado. Entities that are located within Colorado will likely have an on-site inspection, which is covered in a separate presentation and available on our website. I want to briefly go over the program's authority to conduct inspections. While I won't read the law verbatim, the authority to conduct inspections is granted in Title 25, Article 57, Section 110 of the Colorado Revised Statutes. Statute also grants the program the authority to review required documentation, systems, and processes governed by regulation, and download and retain any documents that are required to be kept as part of the regulation. Our inspection authority is limited to inspecting only the processes, procedures, and records that are required by rule. For example, we can review results of unknown donor screening and testing and your process for reporting positive results, since this is a requirement of rule, but we will not review records pertaining to known donations. It is important to point out that although the program can request and download copies of records as part of the inspection, investigation, or licensing process, identifying information about donors, recipients, or donor-conceived persons will be kept confidential and not retained once the inspection is complete. We may retain copies of procedures, forms, or other documents such as a list of employees, training records, or other documents as needed. The rules governing licensure of gamete agencies, gamete banks, and fertility clinics, 5 CCR 1005-6, also includes specific requirements that facilities must follow when interacting with the program, such as providing accurate and truthful information during inspections, investigations, and licensing activities, and making available, upon reasonable notice, records kept by the entity that are relevant to rule requirements. Let's talk briefly about the different types and methods of inspections. There are two types of inspections: routine and for cause. Routine inspections are conducted as a required part of the standard licensure process. These types of inspections occur before an initial license is issued and then annually before the license is renewed. Routine inspections are announced in advance, and you will be notified when an inspection is scheduled. For-cause inspections are conducted for a reason, such as investigating a complaint. Because there is a specific concern we need to address, for-cause inspections may either be announced, where we tell you an inspection is occurring, or they may be unannounced, where there is little to no advance notice of an inspection. Methods of inspections include on-site, where our inspectors arrive at your physical location to review records, or remote, where we will ask for an electronic copy of records to be uploaded to a shared drive by a specified date, and we will review records electronically rather than coming to your facility. The type and method of inspection is at the discretion of the program. Also, any on-site inspection may be converted to a remote inspection if the program deems it necessary. We primarily communicate through emails with the entity administrator and corporate owner, general partner, or sole proprietor listed on the application. For this reason, it is very important that you notify us of any changes to this role or to the email address provided on your application. Failure to do so may result in missing important communication from us. Our program uses a software called Smartsheet to track and process applications. Email is the primary method of communication with you, so it is important to pay attention to emails received from the program, including emails that come from Smartsheet. Smartsheet sends emails that contain important information and instructions that need to be followed to process your application. Failure to follow these instructions may result in delays in processing your application or missing a notice of inspection. Be sure to check your spam folder and adjust filters as needed to ensure you receive all correspondence. After submitting your application for licensure, keep an eye out for a notice of inspection letter, which will provide important information about your remote inspection. To access the information in the notice, open the email and click on the Open Request link. Once you open the request in Smartsheet, locate and download the Notice of Inspection letter under the Attachments section. This notice contains the date and time of the inspection, the documents that must be uploaded to an electronic folder, the scheduled date and time of the opening meeting, as well as other important information to ensure your facility is ready for the inspection. A remote inspection will consist of several steps that may span 3 to 4 weeks. The first section of the notice provides a summary of the remote inspection process, such as upload the requested documents to an electronic folder, attend an opening meeting with the Gamete Bank and Fertility Clinic Program Compliance Inspector remotely through a Google Meet link, upload specific requested records identified in the opening meeting for further inspection. The Program Compliance Inspector reviews records remotely, and following a review of records, a closing meeting is scheduled with the Compliance Inspector to discuss inspection outcomes. Once you've read the information contained in the Notice of Inspection letter, check the box in the email to confirm you are aware of the date and time by which documents must be uploaded, as well as the date and time of the opening meeting, and click on the Submit Update box. An opening meeting will start off with introductions. The inspector will identify who will be your main point of contact at CDPHE throughout the inspection process and ask you to identify the facility's main points of contact in case we have any questions throughout the review. The person at your facility who is most responsible for compliance will also be identified, and they must be in attendance at this meeting. We will review anticipated timelines for the inspection, answer any questions you might have about the inspection process. Using the list of donors, recipients, and employees that the Notice of Inspection instructed you to upload, the inspector will identify specific records for further review. You will then be required to upload those records to the shared electronic folder by a certain date and time. In a remote inspection where information is reviewed electronically, it is important to ensure the documents uploaded to the electronic folder are clear and easy to read. If you scan paper documents, review the scanned image to ensure it is not blurry and handwritten information is legible. Documents should also be organized sequentially, either by page number or chronological order, ensuring all pages are accounted for and complete. Documents that are missing pages, difficult to read, or otherwise incomplete may delay your inspection. Using our checklist, we will remotely access the records in the electronic folder and review the information contained in the records to verify requirements of rule have been met. For example, we will review donor records to verify that each donor has signed a consent form agreeing to the disclosure of their identity prior to donation, that there is evidence that educational materials were both provided to and discussed with the donor before donation occurred, that family limits are being tracked, so on and so forth. We'll continue this process until the inspector has reviewed all of the requested records and completed the checklist. During the record review process, The inspector may reach out to the entity administrator or alternate point of contact with additional questions or to gain clarification on the information provided. Before responding, it is recommended to consult either with the primary person involved in the activity or the subject matter expert. Be truthful when responding to questions. If you don't know the answer, it's okay to say this, but commit to finding the answer as soon as possible. Respond to questions and requests timely so the inspection can continue to move forward. Finally, anytime you are unsure or unclear on a matter, ask for clarification. We're happy to have a phone call or brief meeting with you to provide clarity so we are all on the same page. Once the records have been reviewed and our checklist is complete, the inspector will email the entity administrator an invite to the closing meeting. Again, the person most responsible for the facility's compliance must attend. During the closing meeting, the inspector will discuss any concerns or violations discovered during the inspection process, and you will have the opportunity to ask questions. Keep in mind that the inspection findings go through a department review before determining licensure, so we will not be able to indicate on that day of the closing meeting whether a license is granted. Following the closing meeting, the inspector generates an inspection report which details results of the inspection. Within 30 days of your inspection, you will receive a report detailing the findings of the inspection. Violations may require a corrective action plan to be implemented, which must be verified through another inspection before a license can be issued. If there were no violations, you may be issued a license. As always, we encourage you to reach out to the program through the email address on our website, and thank you for your time today.